from Kyms Homestead with you once again in lovely sunny Victoria, Australia. How are you all? All going well, I hope. Well, I thought I'd sit here with you and have a little chat. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the packing that I'm doing, getting ready to move the homestead. And one of those things is organising my fish. I'm not real sure whether I'm leaving the fish here in the ponds or I'm going to be taking them with me. Mainly because I'm not real sure what I'm actually going to do for them at the new place, or whether I'm going to actually start again with some fish. But what I have is some beautiful fish out there. I mean, they were just little tiddlers when I got them, but now they're great big beautiful fish. And anyway, I don't know what I'd do with them if I didn't use them in the method that I'm thinking of. But anyway, we'll discuss that with you in just a little bit. So, what am I going to be doing today? Well, sorting out some of the fish, yes, and pulling down one of the ponds that we put in together. The big IBC tote in the corner of the fernery. I'm actually going to be pulling that out. Now when I shift, I can put the fish in there, but honestly I don't know where in the yard that I'd put them at the moment, so that would be a bit of a problem. But anyway, we'll come to that shortly. The rest of the things that I'm going to be doing is sorting out my pots. Some of the pots I have plants in, such as my peppers, my tomatoes, and things like that. I'll be taking off the peppers that I can, obviously the tomatoes that I can. It's not the end of the season for them, but I am going to be tipping out the pots, getting rid of the plants, putting them into the green recycle bin. Yes, I know I can take the peppers and that and winterize them and everything, but they have been winterized for 3 years now. So I think it's time actually for new plants when I start again in the new place. So it's much easier to move an empty pot than it is a big full one. And as they're what we call Bryce buckets, which is what we use here for picking grapes, which is a great big, I suppose you would call them a 10 litre or 10 gallon whatever bucket. Yeah, they're heavy. So the dirt will be emptied out into the garden, which has got a lot of compost, manure and all sorts of things in it. So that will be good for the new owners because they'll have some lovely new topsoil for their garden. And then I need to wash out the pots just to make sure I'm not taking any unwanted pathogens onto the new property. Before I plant in them again, I will be washing them out in a weak bleach solution to make sure I haven't carted anything with me and to make sure the pots are sterile. Some of the plans that I've got for the new place, I'm very excited about. One of them, as I said in my last video, is the new pantry. I've been waiting probably 25-30 years for a pantry like this, and I want to take my time in it and make sure that I set it up really well. One of the things that I will be doing, even though there is new carpet down, I am looking into replacing that carpet with, I used to call it linoleum or lino to some people. I think they come in those planks and that now. It looks like wood. Anyway, that's what I'll be putting down. I have broken the budget a fair bit and purchased some really good heavy duty shelving. I wanted to make sure that I didn't have, you know, like the Bunnings cheap stuff that you can only put about 100 kilos on. That's no good for me. These shelves are the big steel shelves. So yes, I know when I put the lino down, I will need something under each leg, which I plan on a nice big block of pine with a piece of carpet on the top of that, so that it gives plenty of cushioning and the weight is spread out a fair bit on the lino in case, you know, one day I'm not going to be there and the new people may not want great big divots in their lino. So the shelving, you can put about 1,000 pounds on each of the shelves, and the shelves are 4 shelves high, at least 4 shelves high, maybe more, depending on if I can afford any more shelving or not. So there's going to be a lot of weight. Fortunately, it's a cement floor or a cement slab, so I won't have to worry about them going through any floorboards or anything like that, which is good. On one of the walls I do have a couple of bookshelves, which I plan on lining that wall with the bookshelves, and that will be for store-bought goods, and that will keep them all in that area there, and the rest of the shelving and that can be for my preserves. Then I have a the laundry is actually straight off of the kitchen in the new place, and rather than a laundry, because honestly I hate laundries inside anyway, they're just messy, dirty things. So I'm actually going to put the washing machine and the dryer and that outside in the shed, which I'm more than happy to. The laundry, which is straight off the kitchen, I plan on turning into a butler's pantry, what you call a butler's pantry, because the pantry that's actually in the kitchen is probably about that wide, and it's pretty much from floor to ceiling high, but it's what I call a bookshelf. It's actually smaller than a bookshelf, and for me, sorry, that's not any idea of a pantry that I consider useful. So that there I will put in things like my electrical things such as the sandwich press, the rice maker, maybe a crock pot or two, toaster, the electric fry pan, things that you want basically just squirreled away, but still within easy reach for when you want to use them. For me, that's a better use of that particular space than it is to put food in and forever be searching, where's this, where's that? No. So I'm going to be turning the laundry into a butler's pantry where I will have, if I can fit it, I don't know yet, but I'll be putting in there my big freezer, which as you all saw, I purchased after the last pantry challenge, which went into my walk-in wardrobe. So that will now be going into the laundry. And there's also a smaller fridge freezer down in my shed, which I will also be putting in there as a drinks fridge and ice freezer basically. And I'm actually going to get another freezer, which actually is a hybrid, so I'll be turning it into a fridge because the new owners of this property has purchased the two big freezers that I have and the 2 bar fridges. So I will be without any usable fridge because the small one down in the shed, it's okay for emergencies, but that's it. It's not big enough for what I want. So I'm actually purchasing another hybrid fridge that I can turn into a freezer in a pinch, and I'll be using that as a fridge. Plans for the garden, the new garden. So at the new house, there are 4 big palm trees. There's one right out the front. There's one right in front of the shed doors, which is a stupid place to put a palm tree, in between the shed and the carport. Really? So both of those will come down. The one in front of the shed, that will be all mulched and munched out because it's too big to pull out. It's a great big tree. The one out the front, I'm actually going to just cut it off level, and I plan on putting my big garden eagle, which I'll take you out and show you shortly. I plan on putting that out the front. So I'll have my nice big majestic garden eagle out the front. And also along the driveway, in a strip of garden, honestly no more than that wide. Shut up, you. They've put, I don't know what sort of tree, they're either ornamental pear or I don't know, some tall cylinder type tree. It's not a pine tree or anything like that. This is just, it's a stupid place to put it, because right where they are, with the big palm out the front, and those trees is the water line for the property, with the meter, which is right next to the palm tree, and they've got these trees that produce these massive roots in the along the driveway, right next to the water meters, and the driveway is all brickwork. So in a couple of years, all it's going to do is the trunks are going to get massive. It's going to lift up all the brickwork there, costing a fortune to have that replaced, and it's just going to totally annihilate the whole watering, like the water into the property. So they're just going to have to come out. Now I'm going to take them out while they're young. Pulling down trees is not something I really want to do. I love trees, I really do. But in their right places, they can stay forever. But these are just totally wrong. Obviously not a great deal of thought was given to the placement of these trees, nor was there any thought as to what is going to be produced by these trees, such as roots, lots of leaves, all that sort of thing. Also along the front of the house, right in front of two of the main windows, is a great long line of lily pillies. Lily pillies as a front hedge along, like out the front, where there's no water pipelines or anything like that, turned into a hedge. Yeah, beautiful, lovely. Where they are is right up against the windows, so once again, not a lot of thought given to the type of trees. I mean, lily pillies grow to like 25-30 foot high and probably 10 metres across, and these are like 2 foot from the window. Nope, that's trouble in the making, so out they go. So then I've got 2 big palm trees that were planted right on top of the water easement along the backyard, like the fence along the backyard, right on top of the water easement. So they have to go. They'll at least be cut off at ground level anyway. I don't know whether I'll be able to afford to have them munched out, but cut off, yeah. They will eventually rot away because they won't regrow from being chopped off. Also in the middle of the backyard, I could leave it, but honestly it produces nothing. It doesn't even produce shade for a full sun backyard, and that is a weeping mulberry that's about, I'd say about 6 to 7 foot high at the moment. If it was a tree that at least produced a bit of shade, It could probably stay, but it doesn't produce anything but leaves. Doesn't produce shade because it's nowhere near big enough, and being a weeping variety, all it does is fold in on itself. So yes, it's going to go too, and I will replace it with something far more suitable, and something that is both shady, that's not going to get too big, and hopefully before I'm old and dead will produce some real. So that's the trees and that in the backyard and the front yard. The veggie patch. Now it will take probably at least 6 months to decide, organise or consider putting in a vegetable patch. Honestly, I don't know what to put in yet. I do like my big IBC tote wicking beds. They work beautifully for this area, but I'm thinking they might be a little bit too big. It nearly killed me to put together the last lot, and honestly I'm not looking forward to digging and toting all that dirt or compost just to fill the darn things by myself again. And I'm thinking of using the Bunnings trugs on legs. I haven't used them before, so I don't know what they're like, especially in full sun. If you have used them and like in full sun, how long do they last? Do they break up with the UV rays? What are they like to grow in? I would be very interested to find out. So if you've got experience with them, please let me know in the comments. That would be great. So basically I'm at a point where it's IBC totes versus trugs. Trugs I can probably deal with, but I'm really not sure about how they'll stand up, and I don't want to spend, you know, like $35 each, because I'll need at least 8 to have them break down and start falling over and whatnot in 6 to 12 months. So I'm looking for something that's going to be pretty much permanent, preferably. That's why I like the IBC totes, but they're just too big. And cost-wise, they're a lot better than the trugs, because I can get 2 big beds for $50, and as I said, the trugs are at least $35 each for something that's a quarter of the size. Or I'm also looking into aquaponics. I know absolutely zero about aquaponics. This is where obviously my goldfish comes into play, because preferably I would like an edible fish. I would like redfin, but redfin's considered a noxious pest here, and you know, I do like redfin. It's a beautiful eating fish. Or do I go for perch, or I would also like Tandanus catfish, which is your Murray catfish. Now they're a beautiful eating fish. Slow growing, but beautiful eating fish. I know there's other fishes around, but you can't get them here. So in Queensland you've got the tilapia and all that, but you can't get them here. Also, you can't buy fingerlings here unless you're a commercial breeder, or you know a commercial breeder, which I don't. Or you can try and have them shipped from Queensland, but cost is prohibitive. Also, how the hell do they, I know they pack them in oxygen and foam boxes and put them on the plane and everything else, but I don't want it getting it from the plane to here, because I don't drive anymore, so it's not like I can go to the airport and pick them up. I can't. So I would have to have them delivered. So does delivery take 1 day, 2 days? I don't know. By the time they get to me, they'd all be dead. Also, cost. I know I can buy them in very small quantities at our local pet shops, but they're like $16 to $20 for a 2-inch fingerling. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know what planet they're on, but I am not paying $16 to $20 for a 2-inch baby fish. Not going to happen. So, it's goldfish. So that's the fish I'll be using, and they will be just pets, and they will produce the necessary poop and other things that are needed to feed my plants. Maybe not me, but my plants. And I don't particularly like fish that much, but I do like a good fish that comes in batter occasionally. So it's not like I'll be having them every day. But anyway, yes, I could probably go down and catch, you know, like perch and whatnot, but the last time I caught a perch was like 15 years ago, so I don't think that's really economical. And you're not allowed to take fingerlings from the wild. So, goldfish it is. But as I said, I know absolutely zero about aquaponics, nor do I know if you can even get the products here where I am. In Queensland, yes, you can. Can I send away for it? Yes, I can. But it's very expensive. So, it looks like I might be just doing wicking beds. Anyway, so that's the quandaries that I've got. That's a good word, isn't it? Quandaries. So that's what I'm thinking for my garden for the upcoming 12 months. So if you've got suggestions, especially if you've got experience in aquaponics and the trugs, I'd be very interested to hear. All suggestions, you know, greatly welcomed. And I would very much appreciate your input. Anyway, so this has rambled on for long enough, and otherwise it'll be squirrel. So let's get out into, first of all, the fernery, and it's been pulled down a fair bit, needs to be pulled down a lot more, and trying to sort out some of the pots that I've got that I plan on taking with me. But first I'll show you the eagle that's going out the front of my new homestead. And here we are at my big eagle. So this is what I plan on putting out in the front yard on top of the big palm tree stump. I think it'll look nice up on his plinth there. Here I've just quickly dug up some bulbs. There was my black lily, which I'm not leaving here. So that's these ones here, and there's heaps and heaps of new little bulbs coming out. There's a chrysanthemum. No, not a chrysanthemum. Dahlia bulb here, which has beautiful little flower. That one's coming with me. Here I have a couple of my daylily bulbs, which I'll take as well. Some gladiolas. This is also a lovely blood red dahlia, so that will be coming with me. There are others that I'm leaving here, so it's not as if I'm taking them all, because I'm not, just a couple of each. And this one here, I need to do a bit of work to it because it's got a little bit of that white powdery stuff on it. Clivia is what this one is. It's a lovely orange clivia. Now I've had this one since, oh my goodness, quite a few years. And I've emptied a few pots into garden beds, and I've emptied my worm bed. Now a couple of these things I will fill up a couple of very small pots with the worm mix that came out, and that's what I'll transport them in. They can go over where my other plants are, and they can come with me. And all I need to do now is wash out these big pots that I've got over there. Sorry about the shakes, guys, but hang on. Let's see if I can zoom in a bit. There we go. There they are. Sorry about the quality of the picture, but when I zoom in, it goes to shit. So we'll zoom back out. No, not in. Go out. There we go. So I've got more pots around the corner, which I'll set you guys up, and you can help me wash the pots. Oh, and then I'll probably get started on that IBC tote fish pond. And I've got some baby fish, so I can show you all my little babies if I can get enough focus on them. Anyway, I'm sorry I didn't bring you along to empty all the pots, but I had them emptied before I could even set up the camera, so it was just a couple I upturned and dug out the roots, and that was it. So I'll bring you along for the rest. Okay, so here's the state of the fernery at the moment. I've done a bit of work to try and keep it relatively clean of weeds, and I think I've done a fairly good job so far. Not long to go. I think there's like 12 days left to go. So let's go down. Yes, and here's Mr. Trouble to help. Let's go down and have a look and see if we can find these baby fish. My pond is still working quite well. There's a couple of them. Let's see if we can get a good shot. They're pretty hard to see in amongst all the weeds and everything. There we go, there's some there. Okay, so that's the state of the pond. Needs a little bit of topping up. I did a bit yesterday, but it got a bit over full. Needs topping up again. first of all turn on the tap to fill the pond. Right, now we shall have a look at this mess. Yes, it's been off for... Yes, Barney, you're not going outside. It's been off for a few months. And as you can see, the water's gone very green and yuck. A lot of it's... I emptied a lot out. The rest of it's evaporated. Basically, I started doing this about 2, maybe 3 weeks after the house was sold. So I knew this job was coming up, but I just haven't been able to get back to it. And of course, as you see, it's turned really yuck. So now it's time to empty all this out, clean it up, and get ready for moving. And this is what I would probably start using as the sump with the fish in it for my aquaponics garden, if I go ahead and build it. A lot of if there at the moment, but anyway, it will serve us as a pond should I choose to take the fish with me. Remains to be seen. I think I need a bigger shovel. Really good worms. Well, that's going to be it for me today, guys. It's actually really humid out in that fernery. It is, I think it's about 33, 34 today. Still fairly cool, but not out in that fernery. It's like 100% humidity. Whew. Anyway, this has been quite a long video and I'm nowhere near finished yet. So I think I'm going to have to make it into a two-part video. So you'll probably get the next part next week. Whew. And I think very shortly I'm going to go and have a nice cool shower. It's a big job. Definitely a big job. Anyway, so more to come. Well, if you liked this video, think about giving me a big thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new here, please think about subscribing. I've got a lot of new stuff to come. As I said, setting up a new pantry, setting up two new pantries really, setting up a new house, possibly getting new lino through the house, new gardens, new veggies gardens. So there's a lot of content to come. Anyway, from me, bye for now guys. I'll catch you again next week. See ya. I'm pooped.